Hello folks, welcome to Lexi IAS Academy. In this video, we will be discussing a current affair topic presented to you by your faculty, Sushma KP. So what is the topic that we will be discussing today? What strategy a civil servant should implement to manage a crowd? See, it is a very saddening incident when I tell that just few days back in Lexi IAS Academy itself, we did a video on your Tirupati Stampede. While we were discussing that itself, we said that yes, when a large crowd is gathered in a particular place, we have to make sure that necessary precautions have to be taken, crowd management has to be done, and also your police personnel, security forces, alongside your volunteers, everyone, including the public, have to be taught, or certain level of awareness has to be brought about crowd management, because innocent lives of all age demographics get lost because of these stampedes. Now, see, first and foremost, this topic we will not focus it on any one particular incident, but at a large, we will be focusing on how crowd management has to be done, what steps have to be taken to mitigate this. Understanding? First and foremost, recently in your RCB match, when RCB won the match, post that there was a huge stampede that broke out in Chinnaswamy Stadium. These are some of the images of that. Look at this. RCB stampede horror. RCB victory turns into grief. Stampede kills 11. Right? Now, first and foremost, like in the beginning we discussed, there has been stampedes on different reasons. For example, stampede incidents when we take with respect to religious gatherings. We just discussed your Tirupati temple stampede. Yes, while they were giving out the tickets. First and foremost, when they conducted the preliminary analysis, they found that that place can house only 2000 members, but it had 2500 members. Like that, the religious gathering, almost all the stampedes that happen, 70% of your crowd related disasters have been with respect to your religious gatherings. From your 2000 to 2013, nearly 2000 people have died in stampedes in India alone. How can we deal with this? See, first and foremost, if you're going to say how are we going to deal with this, that we include civil society, security personnel, police, volunteers, citizens, your general public, all of them have a duty and role to play in this. First, we'll take how can we create a framework for crowd management. First and foremost, pre-event planning and risk assessment. Before you, when you plan an event, you plan has to, where is the venue, what is the type it is, that is what kind of event is it, how many members can this venue accommodate, how many possibilities are there. You have to prepare even for worst case scenario that it can have excess of. What is its threshold? And we have to target where are the entry and exit points, and entry and exit points meaning we have to have multiple entry and exit points. And the crowd before coming in have to be made aware of the safety standards, protocols, and they have to follow in case of stampedes. Mock drills have to be conducted. All this I'm telling before even you start the event planning. Crowd management has to be a core centrality of an event planning. Next, you do your HVRA analysis, meaning hazard, risk, vulnerability analysis. Let's say you're going to pick a venue. You have to find out all the weak spots, meaning what could possibly go wrong. Let's say if it is a music concert, The electricity is all there, everything is happening. So can this handle this much amount of people? Can this handle the, let's say, is it fire resistant materials are used? Because one of the, in our own central event itself, while we were hosting African delegation, the stage caught fire. There was the stage caught fire, which means that there was a hazardous fire which could have erupted possibly. Understanding? So you have to plan for different kind of hazards, and you have to have risk analysis. If this happens, how can I mitigate this? Where are the vulnerabilities in the venue itself? We have to also take care of forecast your weather predictions, how what might react, traffic, congestion, people, rumors. All of this have to be together thought about. In case if this happens, what do we do? Then is capacity planning. Okay, how many can it use? Now again, when you pay, yes, you can tell, this can house this much, but strict implementation of that is where it is lacking. Understanding? See, when it is crowd mentality or crowd awareness or your crowd following, if you see, suddenly when you start see a group of people running towards, everyone in a mode of panic will start to follow the crowd. So you have to make sure before this, the people who are coming in are aware of those. Next is standard operating procedures. What are those? Develop and disseminate information as to how should the crowd disperse, how should the crowd come in, and also for your crowd control, how the security personnel have to react, and there should be emergency response, and in case of any unforeseen events, evacuation also has to be pre-planned. Understanding? How can we monitor the data in a real-time analysis? First and foremost, surveillance system. Install large number of CCTV cameras. Employ drones for aerial views. Okay. Also, you take in artificial intelligence and machine learning. Feed into the data as to how, in a simulated environment, how a crowd might react to a particular instance. What will be the mentality of a crowd in said so events? If that happens, how can we control that? Understanding? And this also has to be in such a manner that it can predict crowd surges and trigger timely interventions. If this happens, you're supposed to do this. It all has to be happening in a coordinated manner. Understanding? Most important thing is your communication tools, which is mobile alerts to disseminate information promptly so that people don't panic. Next is with respect to infrastructure and facility management. First and foremost, you designate entry and exit points and highlight. For example, you've seen in airlines sometimes, even when all the current blocks, you can see that falling of neon lights. Yes, that kind. And also have multiple placards which will showcase clear entry and exit points. Emergency services accessibility. First aid kits have to be made hugely available. Medical facilities have to be available. Ambulance facilities have to be available. Okay, so all of this have to be en route. And if in case it's a medical emergency, unobstructed routes have to be created for this. With respect to training and capacity building, first and foremost, personnel training. Regularly you have to train the staff, event organizers, and when we say event organizers, the people who are involved in the event, right, all of them to undergo this as a part of their drill. And also you create volunteers in the crowd so as to they be trained in this. Another thing is frequently conduct mock drills so as to get an idea as to how they are to act in that particular scenario, and you bring in a good amount of community engagement. This is a joint understanding, this is a joint and more of a coordinated way in which crowd management can be handled. Understanding? With this, we come to the end of the content. If you like our content, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, share it along with friends. Thank you.